All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you guys are enjoying the CII conference right now. My name is Daryl Hadlick, and I'm from WiseCon Engineering. I'm actually the Northern Central Valley Sales Manager. I'm just going to give you a quick presentation about who we are, what we do, and then some case examples of the different types of projects that we've been on with irrigation automation. So we are WiseCon. We were founded in 2006. We came to California in 2015. We now have over 10,000 units deployed. So nodes are our radio terminal units that are out in the field that are either actuating pumps or valves or gathering sensor information from soil moisture probes, weather stations, and other variables. And we're across over 250,000 acres with more than 20 distributors in the United States. And that keeps growing. We're almost up to 30 now with 15 alone in California. We also have 2,000 users in 5 different countries with both a support and manufacturing warehouse, both in Fresno, California, as well as Chile. We also have over 5 API integrations in California. So with other companies that are also providing services like irrigation recommendations, we come in with the hardware side of things, and we actually close that loop for irrigation with the execution aspect. So here's just a quick snapshot of where we are in the United States. You can see a lot of our business is concentrated in California, but we are growing and moving out more into the States and down into Mexico. So what is Drop Control? Drop Control is an online irrigation management system. We like to think of it as the remote control of the farm. So not only are we bringing in sensor data, but our bread and butter is our automation aspect. So it's a reliable irrigation monitoring and control system. We can connect to any sensor, operate wireless valves, or a completely open protocol system. So if you have old probes or old sensors there and we can tie into them, that's not a problem. That saves you a cost on having to buy new stuff. But as you can see here, we've got everything operating through the cloud. So using Amazon Web Services from your phone, from the laptop, you can schedule irrigations, send it to the cloud. It then sends to our gateway unit, which there's one gateway unit per operation. And we have, using a cellular connection, either AT&T or Verizon, that is sending data back to the gateway from the sensors that it gets in the field. And then it goes directly onto your phone or laptop every 15 minutes. And these sensors in the field are being collected by other data loggers. So those data loggers are using a 900 megahertz radio frequency to bounce around and send data to each other so that we get accurate data fast and in real time. We can do different stuff like monitoring pressure before and after the filter, the reservoir level in the back. You can calculate OPE or operating efficiency of your pump. We'll also do open protocol with like wireless, different wireless valves, as well as weather station data for either high temperatures in the summer or low temperatures to control frost throughout the season. We also do a lot of work with our soil moisture sensors, so providing growers who are intensively looking at their telemetry and trying to correlate their soil moisture data along with their irrigations plan throughout the season. And then all of that from a wireless and monitoring system, either from your phone or from the office. We're composed of our hardware and our software. So I went over a little bit about drop control and what it can do and the basics, and then also the hardware that we have out in the field. So we have our C1, X1, and M1. The M1's like another data logger. So any pressure switches, weather stations, soil moisture probes, anything sensor related in the field that you'd like to receive data on and look at on your account, we use that, the M1 for that. Then we have our C1, which is our total pump filter station controlling node. It can control 5 different pump systems, and with all of the add-ons, it can control over 40 valves easily, all either from a central location. It even has Bluetooth, so you can come up to it, and for local control, if you don't have any cellular signal, you can definitely turn on your C1 and operate pumps and valves Bluetooth with your phone. Then we have our X1. So that's the flagship node. That is the one that a lot of growers will see out in the field. So it can do both. It can pick up readings from a soil moisture probe, from a Davis weather station, and all while, operating a valve in the field, operating a pump at the pump station. anything you can do. It's a really versatile node. Then we have our software, so drop control. So either using the drop control app or via third party, like I talked about, we have the API integrations. So a lot of guys will be sending the irrigation recommendation, goes over to drop control. The grower just confirms the set schedule, goes through the cloud, gets downloaded onto the gateway and sent out with the commands into the field using that radio network. So here's our quick snapshot of the web page. And then we have our map and node layout. So this is where growers can see, where their nodes are in the field. They all have their blocks or zones separated out however they'd like. So using a Google Earth KMZ file, we go in here, map that out for them so that we have an accurate reading on which blocks are going to be currently running, which blocks are dry, if they're using soil moisture probes, or all the data where it is in the field. It's really easy to schedule. We've got 3 different ways. So duration, either by the hours, date and time, which is really specific, or volumetrically. So if you have a correct flow meter entry into drop control, as well as the correct amount of acreage, we have our own formula that we use that to calculate, how many inches we're going to put out. So if you need to put out a 1/4 inch, you can enter a 1/4 inch of water, and it's going to give you how long you're going to need to irrigate with that. Or if you just need to put an 8-hour shot on, not a problem. You can do that, no problem. Same thing with fertigation. Choose your different fertilizer, your different tanks, insert those, and you can enter multiple fertilizer injections throughout an irrigation. We can also do the same exact thing with pH control and irrigate to a certain set point. So the biggest part of our drop control software is our programs and templates. So our template is what's happening throughout the day. That's what we've got right here. So it's a schedule, from 8 o'clock in the morning, 6 a.m., whenever you want to start, all the way till the day ends. And the program is setting how long you want that to happen every single day. Or you can skip days using without irrigation, skip 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. It's really customizable to whatever the grower wants. So we've got a lot of guys who will create a template and program and set it for 2 weeks. They get a 24-hour notification that it's going to end. They just reset it and you're good to go. Here's the daily view. So from midnight all the way to 11 p.m., we've got the schedule here. We can see that these are fertilizer injections just by the color. So we have the green color. Follow the green legend down here that you can see below. And you can see how many different irrigations, which blocks they're going to be in, the different schedules versus what actually happened, and then you've got a differential. So up top is what was scheduled, down below is what actually happened in the field. So we're giving you some operational feedback, confirming that the pump actually turned on, the valves opened, and everything irrigated correctly. Then we have a weekly view. So from Monday all the way to Sunday, we actually give with this scheduled irrigation button right here. If you were to click that on a Monday, you can actually post the irrigation schedule just in the shop so that your irrigator knows what's going on, which valves are going to be open, which blocks are going to be irrigating forever, for how long. And now we can see that on a weekly schedule. We also do different flow meter readings. So right here, we're looking at your accumulated volume for this period in the black blocks. And then we have our different flow meter readings. Our red line is then tracking how many acre feet of water we've been putting on throughout the season. And at the end of the season, you can always download a full report. You'll get how many irrigations you did, as well as the total acre feet. And that's using this tool right here. So I've got my total acre feet with my certain amount of irrigation events and my custom start and end date. So from August to October, I can see how much irrigation and how many things have gone on my ranch. We also have a mobile app. So using that map right there, we can see which blocks are dry just by using different icons, see the total amount of volume and different charts. So I can see here, I've got these 4 blocks irrigating, all letting me know that by this icon that's appeared. Then I've got my soil moisture analysis, my irrigation analysis, and even my different zones where I've had either based on a pressure switch, so actual pressure within the line, or by the automation. So reading a flow meter, reading pressure transducers, confirming that I've got water running, and it's all good to go. Then I've got different API integrations. So like I said before, we have over 5 So now we keep growing with that. So other companies that are providing a service, whether it's irrigation recommendations, water reporting, weather reporting, etc. So we're still growing, and if you have any questions about the API integrations, you can definitely ask me at the end of this presentation. So here's just some basic strategies that we've seen growers use automation for in terms of like efficiency. So right here, we've got per variety irrigation. So every other valve or every other row, they had a different valve placed connected to a sub-main or main line that was able to be turned on. So you're irrigating your nonpareils while you're harvesting your other varietals in the field. You can see here, they've got the different blocks planned out with different nodes per every other valve so that they can irrigate, the certain variety that are pertaining to that phenological stage. Here we've got just some pressure transducers that we set up at every other valve just to confirm and give some operational feedback of what's happening and that pressures are correct and we're maintaining a good amount of pressure throughout the field. Then we've got valve sequential operation. So the big problem here was they had some guy going out in the field manually irrigating by turning on 4 valves. Then he would have to go down the field, open 4 more valves, drive back, and close the other 4. So you can already know that there's going to be a lot of operational issues in the field with pressure differentials. So what they did was they used the automation to schedule 4 at a time. So now I've got 4 going here, but once this one ends, this one starts. Once this one ends, this one starts. Just so we're always keeping 4 valves open at a time. Then we've got the results from that same project. So this is before the automation. 2019 was the first year, and then the second year right here, we can see the uniformity and vigor in that field drastically increased. Here's some strategies for water conservation. So going more into the pulse irrigating and utilizing that automation system to its fullest. This was a case study we had a few years ago back in Madeira, so on 170 acres of almonds, with a couple different varieties, using 60 different valves, 2 pumps with subsurface drip. He actually lost a well in the middle of the season and had to adapt from 1,000 to 500 to 600 gallons per minute. So here is his irrigation schedule. You can see it's pulse irrigation. So from midnight all the way to the end of the day, it's having over 8 irrigations. And based on the age of the trees, or the phenological stage or varietals, could be scheduling out these trees a little bit differently. So it's an extremely intense irrigation method. That is pulse or high frequency irrigation. You're constantly checking your weather, you're checking your evapotranspiration, and mainly checking your soil moisture. So he's looking at his depths here with the first, couple feet, and then that's pretty much it. You're not really seeing anything below 16 or 22 inches. So keeping the roots wet, but maintaining that amount of moisture. We actually had a visit out to the field with UCA&R and the almond board. They actually visited in 2018. You can see right here, he's got no runoff or ponding. There's nothing there. The trees are pretty much green year round. Saved 30% of water while maintaining his acreage, his acre average with about 3,000 pounds to the acre. Same thing with time savings. He's not having to go out in the field and change a bunch of stuff around. He's doing it all either from the office, from his phone, and just scheduling out irrigations for the week. The next one, we've got irrigation management with some telemetry. So same exact thing, maybe not pulse irrigating, more so irrigating based on the soil profile. So this certain case study was comparing a first leaf, 2 different first leaf projects, one in 2017, one in 2019. And with the one in 2019, that's where you have the telemetry, you have the automation. In 2017, we didn't. So you're irrigating here based off historical ET data and the soil profile in the orchard. So the 2017 results, 30 to 33 inches applied versus 2019, 20. So you're saving that many inches, getting the same amount of growth, and that's all using either pump and valve automation as well as soil moisture. So Mark Sharpies was the former water resource manager, and he started to irrigate basically based off of the profile. They saved around 1 acre-foot of water per acre, which equated to more than 80 acre-feet of savings. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your conference, and please reach out to me below with my email or my phone number. Thank you very much, and have a nice conference.